welcome to my channel. My name's Angela and this is Plymouth Frocktails. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today is another FridaySews. So thank you so much to everybody that commented on all of my video from last week and for watching, for liking, etc. It's so very kind of you. I just want to apologise. I've had a bit of a hectic week this week and I haven't had a chance to get back and reply to everybody's comments, but I will be doing that in the next week or so. So thank you so much, but I'm not ignoring you. I promise. So today is actually Thursday. I've decided to record my video today because my daughter has decided to come home for the weekend and she's going to be getting home later on tonight. So I thought that would make it quite difficult to actually record a video tomorrow. So it's Thursday. I am wearing a Tammy Handmade Naya Tee in a viscose jersey that I bought from Extra Fabrics. I've just got that on with a pair of ready-to-wear jeans and my very lovely fluffy red socks that the very lovely Rachel from the French Seams gave me on the retreat that we went to last time. And accompanying that, I am sitting having a very lovely hot cup of tea in my gorgeous mug that Mandy from Make It So made me, again, when we went on the retreat. Absolutely gorgeous. I love this cup, A, because I love the colours, I love the fact that it's sewing, but it's also really big, so I can have a really nice big cup of tea. So I very nearly didn't share a video with you this week for a couple of reasons. I have really struggled to get sewing and I'm going to talk to you about that in this video. I'll put a pin in it and come back to it. But I have struggled a little bit, so I thought, oh, I haven't really got very much to share with you. I don't want it to be boring, I don't want it to be samey. And on top of that, I have a bit of an ear problem. So this is a very strange thing to say. I don't think I'm shouting at you, and hopefully I'm not, but I actually can't hear anything at the moment. This ear is completely and utterly blocked, and I think this one is partially blocked, and it's very uncomfortable. It's only happened in the last 48 hours. I feel headachy, I feel dizzy, I just feel generally really rubbish, and I'm trying really hard to get on with and carry on sort of during my day. I have meant to be going for a run and doing things like that, but I'm not doing that because I'm worried that I might fall over. I've made a doctor's appointment, I am getting it sorted, but in the meantime I was like, oh, I just don't feel like anything. But I've kind of got myself together, got myself showered and dressed, put a bit of makeup on, tried to make myself feel better, and I thought, no, come on, I'm going to do a video and I'm going to share it with you. So what have I got up to since the last FridaySews video? Well, like I say, I haven't done a huge amount of sewing. I have done some bits and I am going to share that as I go through. But I want to share with you why I haven't done a lot and a few thoughts and things on it. So I'm going to put a pin in that and I'm going to come back to that a bit later on in the video. So if that's something that you're interested in listening to, then do stick around until the end of the video. So yeah, so I haven't done a huge amount of sewing, but I have done some sewing bits and pieces. On the weekend, on Saturday, I taught at Make Fabric Boutique. I teach there periodically, and I was teaching the class Learn to Love Your Overlocker. So I had 6 ladies and I was basically teaching them how to thread their overlocker, really get used to it, doing different techniques with it, etc., and looking after your overlocker. So that was on Saturday, and then on Sunday I was teaching how to sew with knit and jersey fabric, which is a class that I normally take, and it's normally all females, and it's normally the Cocoa Top or Dress by Tilly and the Buttons, or the Billy Sweatshirt or Sweatshirt Dress by Tilly and the Buttons. But this time I had a man. I've never taught a man before, and he was absolutely delightful. And he actually did I can't remember the name of the actual t-shirt, but he made a t-shirt or a jumpery t-shirt by Thread Theory, and it turned out really lovely. So yeah, it was a really good weekend. And then after I had been teaching on Sunday, Lizzie, who is the owner of Make Fabric Boutique, and I, if any of you don't know, I am co-hosting and co-organising the Plymouth Frocktails, and that's going to be held on the 15th of March here in Plymouth. We're so super excited about it, and we did an Instagram live. Now, neither of us had ever done an Instagram live before, and we were both really nervous, which I think made us both really giggly. I have saved the video and I have put it on the Frocktails Plymouth Instagram page, so I'll put a link to that below if you want to go and have a little look at it, or I think I can even put a link in up here, so if I can I'll put a link to that up here as well. But we talk a little bit more about Frocktails, and we were basically asking people if they wanted to come and ask us questions and things like that. We are really close to hitting our sales target. We only have a few tickets left now, and we're super excited that we've actually achieved that and managed that, so thank you so much to everybody that's got involved and that is coming. I'm so excited about seeing you. I'm excited about seeing what you make, and yeah, just meeting you all and chatting and making new friends, really. On top of being really excited about meeting everybody, I am super delighted. We have had some amazing prizes that have been donated by the sewing community in terms of businesses, independent businesses, larger businesses, and we've got some fantastic prizes up for grabs at the prize draw, which will take place on the evening. So keep an eye on the Plymouth Frocktails Instagram page, because I will be posting as we're going about the different prizes that are coming up. In fact, I need to get on and do that because I was meant to do that this week, but it's been a busy week. Yeah, so keep an eye out on that, and I'll be sharing all the different prizes that we have been donated. So on Monday morning, I do the same thing on a Monday. I get up, I start doing a bit of a tidy, and then I have a PT session at the gym, and then I normally go for a run straight afterwards. So it kind of takes up the whole morning, and then I get back, shower and dress, and I think, wow, there's not really much point in doing anything else. I'll either do a bit more tidying or I'll do a bit of sewing, that kind of thing. And I opened up the door to my sewing room and I was just like that, oh, it's just such a mess. So I'm going to put some video footage in here so that you can see. But basically, I have been, or my husband and I have been decorating one of my daughter's bedrooms. On top of that, we have also decided to do a bit of a refurbish of our internal garage and make it a bit more usable and a bit nicer. And so everything has been shoved in various different places in the house. If you've ever decorated before, you know what it's like. One room, you think, well, it's only one room, but it then gets scattered across the rest of the house and it just causes absolute mayhem, and it is just crazy what it does. And of course, lots and lots of it has been shoved into my sewing room. I also had been doing a bit of sewing and then just kind of left everything scattered. I had also done a video, and then again after a video there always seems to be mayhem after I've recorded a video. And also because I've been teaching, and especially teaching Learn to Love Your Overlocker, I take my overlocker in with me. So I had kind of just come home on the Saturday night, shoved it in, just dumped it all, and it was just an absolute mess. And I just couldn't think straight, and I couldn't face doing any sewing or doing anything like that. So I just got in there and put my big girl pants on and thought, right, let's just tidy up. So I've shown a bit of an image of what it looked like before I started, and now hopefully you can see what it's looking like as I'm tidying up. It's not fully tidy because like I say, we've been, you know, decorating. There are things in there which are going to just have to be there. So things under the desk, under both of the desks, there's like baskets and piles of fabric and bits and pieces which will go back into another room at some point, but for the moment it's just had to be shoved in. There's duvets. There's just all sorts of different things, and there are things that I need to really sort through and declutter as well. And then once I had done all the tidying, I gave it a really good clean and just got it back to a place where I felt a bit happier about being in it. I'm still not totally happy because there's still lots of things shoved everywhere, but it's better. So in terms of sewing, first of all, thank you so much to everybody that commented on my last video saying, oh no, please carry on sharing what you're doing with your EPP, your English paper piecing. That's really kind of you. I just didn't want it to be boring because I know it's quite slow because I only do a little bit at a time, but this week it's been really slow because I've done none. So I have no developments to be able to share with you. So thank you so much for saying that you would like to see what I do and how it's progressing, but there's no progression. So unfortunately I can't show you my EPP for this week, or I can show you, but there's no point in showing you, if that makes any sense. So nothing to share with my EPP, but I have cut out John's shirt, and I said to you that I was going to be cutting out the McCall's M6044, and I have done that. I've got that cut out. This is a shirt that I've used quite a few times. I really like it. I've even done a sew along for it, which I'll put a link in up here if you would like to see that and share it. It goes through the entire process of making the shirt, and I have put timestamps in it, so if there is actually just one particular thing that you're interested, I don't know, maybe doing the interfacing or turning the collar or that kind of thing, then do go and have a look. You don't have to watch the whole thing, you can just go to the bit that you particularly need. So I've got that cut out, and in addition to cutting out, because I had a bit of fabric left over but not a huge amount, and trying to keep in that mindset of not just keeping bits of fabric just for the sake of keeping them, I sort of went, right, okay, what am I going to do with this? Am I going to keep it? Am I going to throw it away? Am I going to donate it? But I thought that I probably had enough to cut out a few hankies. Now, I know this is a really weird thing, and some people go, hankies? I don't know, my husband's really old-fashioned. I have no idea why, but he loves using a hanky. And it's one of those things that actually is really quite sweet. I think when he very first met me and then met my parents, my dad, who is now 78, he has always used a hanky. And in the first couple of months of meeting my dad, John said, I really like that about your dad. Whenever anybody says, oh, I've got a runny nose, or they're upset or anything like that, your dad's always the one to go, oh, here you go, love, or here you go, darling, here's a hanky. And it's such a lovely thing. And he said, I love that, I'm going to do that. And he has always got a hanky in his pocket, and you know, they get changed, they get washed obviously daily, and eventually sometimes they get a bit manky, so you throw them out and you get some new ones. But I thought there's enough of this fabric left, so I took one of his hankies, checked the size of it. Actually, they're huge. Some of his hankies are massive, and I've cut out, I think it's something like 16 by 16 inches. I think I've cut out 3 actually of these, because I had enough, because some of his are looking a bit ropey, so I thought I would make him 3 hankies out of it. And it's quite similar on the back as it is on the front. I mean, it's slightly less bright on the back, but I thought that they would make nice hankies, and it's a really nice weight fabric, so I thought that he would really appreciate that. The only thing is, I have tried to make hankies before, and I have got a rolled hem foot on my sewing machine, and I think it really takes a lot of practice to be able to use that properly. And I remember really struggling with it before when I was doing it. So if anybody's got any hints or tips on either using a rolled hem foot on your sewing machine, or alternatively a different way of hemming this, so it's got a very, very extremely narrow hem, I'd really appreciate that, because I think using the rolled hem foot is just a little bit beyond me, if I'm honest. But yes, I've got the hankies cut out, I've got the shirt cut out, and then the little bits that were left, the really tiny bits, I've thrown away, and then I have folded up and I've put in a box, because I am collecting lots of cotton bits that my sister will use for patchworking and all that kind of thing. She loves all that kind of thing, and I've put that in a box for her to send up to her. I'm just waiting to fill it up, and I've basically keeping a box at the back of my sewing room here, and I'm folding it up nicely, and it feels really nice because I know it's not just getting shoved back into my cupboard and then not ever being used. And so then the only other piece of sewing that I've been doing is I have been finishing off my Rydal jumpsuit, which is by Izzo Sews, and I have got it here. It's not ironed, please don't take any note of it, because it's not actually fully complete. The only thing that I have left to do is hem both the sleeves and the legs, and then I'm waiting for a cord to come to be able to thread through. I have actually used eyelets on this instead of buttonholes. Not sure how I feel about it, because I haven't had much success with eyelets before, but I've tried to be really careful, and I've put interfacing on it, and I've done them as well as I possibly can. I do quite like this. There are definitely some adjustments that I need to make. I'm not going to show you any pictures of this with me wearing it, because I'm hoping that I can get this completed and finished, and that the the cord will come in time, and then I can do a makes video all about my January makes, which will include this, and I can talk about it in more depth then. But there are definitely some things that I need to change. I definitely need to change the crotch length because it's just a little bit too low. I'm not sure I really like the pockets on it because they look really low as well. And when I tried this on, well, first of all, just to give you a giggle, I tried it on to begin with before I'd attached the top and the bottom together, and I put it on and I was like, I can't go out in this. I was exposed beyond exposure. And I was like, right, this isn't going to go well. And I messaged the lovely Ruan, who's the Yorkshire Sew Girl, and said, did you try it on before putting it together, and was it a bit, you know, a bit much around this area? And she said that it wasn't. She doesn't have any problems with it. And I thought, you know, I'm just gonna trust the process, and I'm just gonna carry on. And I've joined the leg, you know, the bottom and the top together, and it actually now looks absolutely fine, and I'm perfectly happy with that. But I tried it on. Of course, there's no cord in it, and I think that then makes it a little bit shapeless at the moment. And I don't want anybody to give my husband hate, because he is honestly really lovely and really encouraging with everything that I do. But I put it on and he said, it looks like a baby grow. Oh my gosh. I put it on and I thought it looked lovely. And then when he said that, I was like, oh. And he went, no, I mean, it's fine. He said, but it just looks a bit funny. Maybe it'll look different with the cord in. And I'm really, really hoping that it does. But I can honestly say, when I've seen anybody else in theirs, I don't think that they look like they've got a baby grow on. Anyway, so that is all the sewing that I have done this week. Just want to give a special mention to a very lovely lady who is Ruth. She has set up her own Etsy shop. Now, Ruth is just a absolutely lovely, lovely lady. If you're ever lucky enough to meet her in person, she is so gentle and so kind, and she just has this really lovely, gentle nature and way about her. She really is lovely, and she has her own YouTube channel and Instagram account, so please do go and give her a follow. But she has decided to set up her own Etsy shop. Now, I think in time she's hoping to potentially come away from Etsy and actually set up her own website and everything, but she has decided to set up her own sewing related shop. So she is called Shropshire Sews. I find that quite hard to say. Shropshire Sews, and she is selling different haberdashery and sewing related items. She's selling sewing patterns and fabric. I'm going to put up on the screen a few images of what she has on her Etsy shop at the moment. She also has social sewing days, which obviously is in the Shropshire area. So if you're in that vicinity and it's something that you'd be interested in going to, then do go and have a little look. I think she's going to be developing and growing this website and her content that she has quite a lot. Obviously, she's only in the very beginning stages, and it would be so lovely if you could go and have a look and support her. I really love, there's a checkered fabric on there and I really love it. I keep eyeing it up and thinking, I might get that, but I'm trying to be really good and not buy fabric at the moment. So yeah, go and have a little look. It's really lovely. Ruth is really lovely, and I'm sure you'll enjoy seeing all the different things that she has on her website. So I have a little quiz for you now. First of all, that's actually a really good clue, that I have a quiz and I am sending something to somebody that loves quizzes. But I'm wondering if you can guess who I am sending something off to. Basically, I came across a whole load of fat quarters in my stash and I thought, I know I'm never going to use these. I think they originally Sew Hayley Jane fat quarters, and I think I ordered some more of what I had because I wanted to make some Jamie pyjama shorts for one of my daughters, but unfortunately I never got around to it. And actually my daughter, when I went back to her and said, do you still want me to make these, she was like, I'm really not that bothered. So I was like, okay, that's fine. And then I thought, I know who I can send these to, and I'm just wondering if you can guess who I'm going to send them to as well. So the reason I got more of the fabric was because it had this these whales or sharks on them, but they are very much space themed. So they've got astronauts, planets, and whales. I mean, yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but anyway, they have these. So I've got 4 of these fat quarters. Then I have this one, which is very space themed. And then to sort of contrast with it all and coincide with it, there's this one, which is very sort of spacey as well. Anyway, my question to you is, who am I sending this off to? Who loves quizzes and who loves space? Anyway, I'm going to leave you with that and see what you come up with. So I'm going to go back to what I put a pin in earlier, and that was why I haven't got lots of things done and talking about planning, etc. So like I say, I very nearly didn't do a video today because I just thought, oh, I've not got much to share. Well, I have actually had quite a bit to share with you. When I now think about it, I've got quite a few things I've shared with you. But it has made me think about what I did. So at the very beginning of the year, I think it might have been my very first Friday sews. I can't actually remember. But I said to you, I was going to use this calendar. Now, Karen, who is So Little Time, gave me this calendar as part of our Advent. And I already had another calendar, which was bigger, which I was going to use downstairs. And I didn't want to waste this one. So I thought, right, what can I do with it? And I thought, I know, I am going to use this in my sewing room. I'm going to use it as something that I plan with and use to plan all my sewing and my makes. And it didn't have to be, you know, right, you have to make that and then you have to make that. I wanted it to be more a case of that week I'm going to wash that fabric, or that week I'm going to cut that fabric out, or I'm going to sew that. And it was, you know, it was more that kind of thing. And in some respects, there were some things on there which I had to keep committed to because, for example, my daughter's birthday, I wanted to make sure that I could, you know, make certain things for her in time for her birthday so I could send them off. And for example, I've got the shirt that I've cut out this week for John. His birthday's on the 10th of February, so I really need to get a bit of a wriggle on and make that. So that kind of commitment is a commitment that I'm putting on myself, but those then have to become my priority. But I was looking at all the different things that I had on here, and I've been ticking them off as I've been going. So I've been putting ticks on, or I've been putting stars next to things which I think are the most important and that kind of thing. And I just haven't been able to keep up with everything that is on my list. I haven't put anything in February yet, so February is completely blank. And on the back of here, I was putting potential makes. That wasn't to make in January. That was just things that I was thinking about potentially for in February or in future makes. So I've got potential makes. I want to make the Maker's Caddy. I want to make a second Rydal jumpsuit if I like the first one and it doesn't feel like a baby grow like my husband says. And I want to make a sofa tidy, which is an Adam Sews pattern as well. I've actually had other things that have come up in my head, but I haven't written them down on there. So what do I want to say? I want to reflect on the fact that I've done this, and I want to say that I made a mistake doing this. I think it's a really good idea to write things down, but I 100% overcommitted to what I thought I could do. Put that down. And I do this in my day-to-day life as well. So normally when I go to bed at night, I make myself a to-do list for the next day. And I don't know how many hours I think there are in a day, but clearly I don't realise there's only 24 and that I need to sleep for between 7 and 8 of those. I clearly think that there's 50 hours in a day because I can never complete my to-do list, but I don't learn. And then the next day I make another to-do list for the following day and I still overcommit, and then it's really disappointing. Now, we have so many different commitments in our life that we have to do. Some of them maybe are not so enjoyable, some of them are enjoyable, but they are still commitments and they're still things that we have to do. So for example, maybe on the non-enjoyment side, we might have work-related commitments. Well, you've got to do those, you have to do those, and you might be lucky enough that you have a job that you absolutely love and that's fantastic, or you might have a job that you're not so keen on, but you know you still have to commit to them. You might then still have other commitments which you do love. So this sounds really weird saying that your children are a commitment, because obviously that's just part of your life, but they are a commitment, and they are, you know, they're who you love and who you need to and want to spend time with, and your husband or your partner or a pet. You might have a dog that you know you have to take them out for a walk, that kind of thing, but they are enjoyable things. So there's that as well. But when you have something like a hobby like sewing, They are a commitment, but they're only commitments that we put on ourselves. And I think I was viewing this as, oh my gosh, it's written down and I've got to do it. And I got myself into a little bit of a flummox about it all. And I just wanted to kind of reflect on it and say, this is our hobby and this is something that's meant to be really, really enjoyable. And it's good to put sort of maybe time caps on things. But this is our hobby, so it's not something that we're going to get berated for if we haven't done it. You might berate yourself, but you shouldn't be, because this is something that's really enjoyable. I have also, so for example, I've committed to doing a couple of collaborations with people, and they are things I really, really want to do. I have also been asked to collaborate with a business or two recently, and I said yes initially, and then got myself into a little bit of a panic because lots of things have been happening. I've got a lot of commitments with my daughter at the moment. Like I say, we're decorating and all that kind of thing, and I'm studying, and I felt a little bit overwhelmed. And I've actually emailed and gone back to the companies and said, I know I initially said yes to these, but I actually have to say no. And I haven't gone into huge amounts of detail with those companies that I've gone back to, but I'm saying to you, actually it's really okay to say no to things sometimes, and that you have to take care of yourself and have some self-care, and it's really, really important. And things happen when you don't take care of yourself, like you get unwell, you get blocked ears, things like that. And you know, if you don't take care of yourself, then you can't actually take care of other people and the other things that are going on in your life. And I don't know if that's a bit rambly. There's no real, I haven't written down anything to kind of how to express this and say this to you, so it might not make any sense. It might be a bit all over the place, but I just wanted to share my thoughts about it, and that when I go to plan my things that I want to do in February, I'm going to really whittle down, and I'm going to maybe just write down things that I absolutely want to do, and that might be maybe a maximum of say 2 things, and then things that would be really lovely to do in February and that there's no commitment to them, and then maybe just keep myself a little list of things that over time I would like to do, and that might be over 12 months or it might be over 6 months or something like that. But yeah, just to sort of take that pressure off, because sewing is my happy place, sewing is my joy, it's what I love to do. Equally, I really love doing the YouTube videos and sharing with you, and I just wanted to reiterate and put that out to you that it's okay to slow everything down and take a bit more enjoyment out of the things that we're doing. Anyway, I've rambled on way too much. I hope that that's okay, and I hope that you have appreciated the fact that I've shared that with you. Let me know in the comments below what you think about that. Do you think that it's good to have, you know, to-do lists and commitments, or do you think it's good to sort of take the pressure off? Let me know what you think about it. I'd really like to know your thoughts. Also, see if you can guess who I'm sending this to, and also if you have any hints and tips on that narrow hem for my husband's hankies. But other than that, I'm going to go. I am going to go off, get ready to have my daughter home for this evening, and have a lovely weekend with her. You all have a lovely weekend too. Happy sewing, and I'll speak to you again next week. Take care. Bye.